Episode 56, D. May 6, 2023. The hyper-localized fence line of near neighbors of residential wood burners is like the fenceline of poor Americans near air-polluting refineries. Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, see rawscpresidents.wordpress.com and scroll down for PDFs of articles with URLs to search on. On rawscpresidents.wordpress.com are links to 30-minute YouTube videos and podcasts on Spotify, podcasts.google.com, Amazon Music Prime, free for Prime subscribers, CastBox, and Pocket Cast. Pocket Cast is only free on the phone app. The phone app works on Apple phones. Arizona. View. It is no gift to give a wood-burning stove to someone in need of home heating. An electric heat pump would have been appropriate and would not cause air pollution in addition to whatever privations the family was experiencing. Local doctor and her family make medical and humanitarian treks to Central America. News. Temple Daily Telegram. Her thanks after the Rivera family replaced an open fire pit inside the home with a $180 wood-burning stove with a proper exhaust system. The home with a $180 wood-burning stove with a proper exhaust system, problems from inhaling smoke and fumes from the open cooking pits. California. State of the Air Report finds LA Long Beach area has worst ozone pollution in U.S. Daily Bruin. May 4, 2023, 11:44 p.m. An F rating indicates a failing level as per the National Ambient Air Quality Standards for PM 2.5, which refers to Colorado. Simple, blowing my troubles away, opinion, AspenDailyNews.com. Aspen Daily News. Wood-burning stoves among other culprits cast a visible pallor of white smoke over the town each morning. It looked like there was a mandatory. Florida. Molecular signs agreement to provide air quality monitoring services to Veterans Affairs facilities. Investors Observer. Various parameters, including volatile organic compounds, VOCs, particulate matter 2.5, PM 2.5, CO2, temperature and humidity levels. Molecular signs agreement to provide air quality monitoring services to Veterans Affairs facilities. Thursday, May 4, 2023, 9:25 a.m., Globe Newswire via Quote Media. Mentioned in this article. MKUL 6.55%. 49. See MKUL report. Molecular signs agreement to provide air quality monitoring services to Veterans Affairs facilities. Molecular to provide Veterans Affairs, VA, Center employees and veterans with real-time, indoor air quality, IAQ, monitoring and control system across 3 VA service centers in Hot Springs, South Dakota, Fort Riley, Kansas, and Topeka, Kansas. Molecular and the Veterans Integrated Services Network, VISN 23, having successfully completed a one-year deployment of IAQ solutions, have entered into second one-year agreement with an option for up to 5 years, demonstrating a long-term commitment to providing advanced IAQ solutions for VA service centers. Significant opportunity for Molecule to potentially expand deployment across 1,200-plus facilities at all 18 VISNs in the Veterans Health Administration, VHA, network. Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, May 4, 2023, Globe Newswire, Molecule Group Incorporated, Molecule or the company, NASDAQ, MKUL, an emerging leader in air purification technology solutions, today announced a new agreement with VISN 23 to monitor IAQ across 3 VA service centers in Hot Springs, South Dakota, Fort Riley, Kansas, and Topeka, Kansas. Molecule and VISN 23 have agreed to a one-year base period and 4 one-year option periods, providing VISN 23 with an advanced risk mitigation platform to monitor and control IAQ across several facilities from one single location so that VA employees and veterans can breathe clean and healthy indoor air. The mobilized solution allows the VA administration to access real-time IAQ data and receive alerts when IAQ levels exceed predetermined thresholds. The system gives VISN 23 operators recommendations for maintaining optimal air quality and evidence of the current state of IAQ. Molecule implemented advanced IAQ monitoring technology and services in 3 VA service centers in Hot Springs, South Dakota, Fort Riley, Kansas, and Topeka, Kansas, and the solution has been running successfully for over a year. The comprehensive IAQ monitoring system provides valuable insights into the IAQ of the facilities and tracks various parameters, including volatile organic compounds, VOCs, particulate matter 2.5, PM 2.5, CO2, temperature and humidity levels. The company believes that the new agreement with VISN 23 will continue to demonstrate the versatility of Molecule's technology while delivering the potential to expand deployment across all 18 VISNs in the VHA network, which includes over 1,200 facilities. We are proud to support our veterans and the staff at VISN 23 by providing advanced IAQ technology to help keep our servicemen and women safe and healthy, said Jason DeBona, Chief Executive Officer of Molecule. With our technology, VISN 23 can maintain a daily, real-time IAQ report, which details any threats and provides actionable intelligence to control their air. We look forward to working with our VA partners to showcase the POV of our IAQ monitoring technologies. Having a detailed, real-time view of the IAQ conditions in our facilities is a game changer, said Rick Grubb, Facilities Operations Specialist at VISN 23. Our number one priority is the safety and health of our staff and veterans. The advanced monitoring platform puts us in control of our IAQ for the first time and helps VISN better manage energy costs by ensuring our HVAC system works effectively and efficiently. Molecule has the largest range of proprietary and patented FDA-cleared air purification devices, which have been proven to destroy SARS-CoV-2, RSV, H1N1 flu virus, VOCs, allergens, mold, and many other airborne pollutants. The devices are part of a state-of-the-art advanced solutions platform, which includes IAQ monitoring and Internet of Things, IoT, device control. If you are interested in a quote for your organization, please inquire at https://molecule.com/business. About Molecule. Molecule is on a mission to provide clean indoor air to everyone, everywhere. With the largest range of proprietary, FDA-cleared air purification devices on the market, Molecule is providing consumers, business owners, and medical professionals with hardware and software solutions to better understand and improve indoor air quality. Its Air Pro, Air Mini Plus, and Pergo purification devices can be applied to virtually any indoor space, including homes, classrooms, offices, hospitals, and more. For more information and customer reviews, visit https://investors.molecule.com. Press at molecule.com. Investor Relations Contacts: Ryan Tyler, Chief Financial Officer, Molecule. Ryan.Tyler@molecule.com. Matteo Communications. Molecule@matteo.com. Forward-looking statements. This press release contains forward-looking statements within the meaning of the safe harbor provisions of the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. These forward-looking statements are based upon current beliefs and expectations of our management and are subject to known and unknown risks and uncertainties. Words or expressions such as expects, anticipates, intends, plans, believes, estimates, may, will, projects, could, should, would, seek, forecast, or other similar expressions help identify forward-looking statements. Factors that could cause actual events to differ include, but are not limited to: general economic conditions in the markets where we operate, the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and related prophylactic measures, expected timing of regulatory approvals and product launches, non-performance of third-party vendors and contractors, risks related to our ability to successfully sell our products and the market reception to and performance of our products, our compliance with, and changes to, applicable laws and regulations, our limited operating history, our ability to manage growth, our ability to obtain additional financing when and if needed, our ability to expand product offerings, our ability to compete with others in our industry, our ability to protect our intellectual property, the ability of certain stockholders to determine the outcome of matters that require stockholder approval, our ability to retain the listing of our common stock on NASDAQ, our ability to defend against legal proceedings, success in retaining or recruiting, or changes required in, our officers, key employees or directors, the risk that the merger between Molecule and Aura may not be completed, and other economic, business, competitive, and regulatory factors affecting the businesses of the company generally, including but not limited to those set forth in the Molecule's filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, including in the Risk Factors and Management's Discussion and Analysis of Financial Condition and Results of Operations sections of Molecule's latest annual report on Form 10-K, as amended, and other SEC filings. Forward-looking statements are not guarantees of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties, and actual results may differ materially from those in the forward-looking statements as a result of various factors. Although we believe that the expectations reflected in the forward-looking statements are reasonable based on information currently available, we cannot assure you that the expectations will prove to have been correct. Accordingly, you should not place undue reliance on these forward-looking statements. In any event, these statements speak only as of the date of this release. We assume no obligation to revise or update any of the forward-looking statements to reflect events or circumstances after the date of this release or to reflect new information or the occurrence of unanticipated events. Ohio, Clyde. Rosep View. This article is about Augusta, Maine, Ann Arbor, Michigan, and Clyde, Ohio. Climate change is spurring interest in remaking local infrastructure to accommodate renewable energy, minimize power failures, and expand consumer choice. A new, better electric grid can better power heat pumps, which can work at temperatures well below 0 Fahrenheit, and can replace residential wood burning. Frustrated by outdated grids, consumers are lobbying for control of their electricity. https://insideclimatenews.org/news/0505203/electric-grid-customer-control/question mark UTM_source=inside climate +news_campaign=sign 314FA79EF4-. Excerpts edited by Rosep for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. Clyde, Ohio, population 6,000, has 2 electric grids. One is owned by the city. The other, now serving just a handful of customers, is controlled by a subsidiary of a utility that provides electricity to 6 million customers across 5 states. When Clyde residents voted to localize their electricity in the 1980s, buying the existing grid was exceedingly expensive, so they built their own. When electricity began flowing through the new lines, customers of the new utility paid 25% less than they had to the legacy provider. From Ann Arbor, Michigan, to Augusta, Maine, consumers, governments, and clean energy advocates are lobbying to form local utilities that they say would make grids more resilient amid severe weather and speed the deployment of clean energy. In 2019, Ann Arbor City Council passed a climate emergency ordinance and set a target of making the town reliant on renewable energy for 100% of its electricity by 2030. Dealing with weather-related outages did not work with the old grid. Winter storms in February encrusted power lines and poles with ice and left 40% of customers in Ann Arbor without electricity. Annual weather-related power outages in the United States have doubled over the last 2 decades as ever more powerful storms batter the nation's aging grid. I don't think this is the electrical system that's going to bring us into the next 100 years, an expert said. In Maine, residents will vote in a November referendum on whether to replace the legacy utilities Versant Power and Central Maine Power, the state's two biggest electricity providers, with a nonprofit public utility called Pine Tree Power governed by an elected board and run by a private operator. A former Maine state legislator says the state's investor-owned utilities, which do not own generation projects, have obstructed small-scale, clean energy installations in favor of bigger ones that require large power lines that bring in money. And he argues that direct, democratic control of electricity would be better suited to a future in which electricity powers more of daily life. Maine ranked second to last nationwide for electricity reliability on the basis of power failures in a 2021 report. Maine, like many other states, has struggled with delays in connecting small solar projects to the grid. And in 2016, regulators frustrated solar advocates by changing how homeowners' small systems were metered, reducing compensation for the electricity they generated. The former Maine state legislator sponsored a bill that reversed that metering policy 3 years later. In Boulder, Colorado, a decade-long effort to form a publicly owned utility to address climate change ended in 2020 with an agreement with the legacy utility, Xcel Energy, to reduce emissions from its electricity supply by 80% by 2030 and to help the city reach 100% renewable energy by 2030. In California, the city government of San Francisco, which controls much of its own electricity generation, has been fighting since 2019 to buy its grid infrastructure from the utility Pacific Gas and Electric. The article concludes with an expert who says, "We have new technology that is in direct contrast to a system that's not working well," citing microgrids, batteries, and distributed energy resources. Instead of embracing that, investor-owned utilities are putting up walls around their existing infrastructure or making it really, really hard and cumbersome for people to embrace those alternative techs. Michigan, Detroit. Air Quality Awareness Week spotlights the main pollutant impacting the climate. Fox 2 Detroit. Fox 2 Detroit. One of them is fine particulate matter, consisting of dust, soot, ash, or wood smoke caused by burning fossil fuels or other chemical processes. New Hampshire, Keene. Despite particle-prompted dip, county scores high marks in air quality report. The Keene Sentinel. The Keene Sentinel. Cheshire County has an historic issue with particulates from wood stoves becoming trapped in the air due to the area's topography, according to. Despite particle-prompted dip, county scores high marks in air quality report. The Keene Sentinel. The Keene Sentinel. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's Burn Wise project advises minimizing wood smoke by using an EPA-certified wood pellet stove. Texas. Rosep View. Carbon capture has a history of not working and being expensive and a time-consuming procedure. It is better not to emit pollution in the first place by not burning fuel, especially solid fuel such as wood. Carbon capture is pushed by industry because it usually is a way to obtain subsidies from the federal government. Carbon removal projects leap forward with new offset deal. Will they actually help the climate? Finance and insurance giants hope to offset their carbon emissions with direct air capture from a plant in Texas and smokestack carbon capture from Midwestern ethanol plants that would rely on a pipeline that may never be completed. Texas, El Paso. Ambitious climate proposition faces fossil fuel backlash in El Paso. By Martha Skowski. Sunrise El Paso put forward a charter amendment to transition the city off fossil fuels and explore creating a municipal electric utility. The Chamber of Commerce and the fossil fuel industry are mounting a scorched earth campaign to kill it. Texas, Port Arthur. Rosep View, the hyper-localized fence line of near neighbors of residential wood burners, is like the fence line of poor Americans near air-polluting refineries. Q&A, Linda Villarosa took on the perils of medical racism. She found Black Americans live sicker and die quicker. Excerpt edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. https://insideclimatenews.org/news/Linda Villarosa medical racism/UTM_source equals inside climate plus news and UTM_campaign equals FA7EF. May 3, 2023. What does climate change mean for the health of Black Americans? We are already 75% more likely to live at a fenceline community, which means that you're near a refinery, you're near a landfill, you're near some kind of toxic dump. You're near some kind of facility that's going to make you less healthy already, so that's just the bottom line. I think of Port Arthur, Texas, a fenceline community where I have family. And if anything happens at this gigantic refinery, if it rains, if there's a hurricane, if there's any weather event, then it means that the land around there, the water already contaminated by the refinery, gets worse. People already living in a place that isn't healthy have to flee someplace else. We are the ones who are going to be most affected and have been most affected by climate change. Climate change will have an outsized effect on people of color in this country. Washington, D.C., District of Columbia. Public Comment Period 2024 Annual Ambient Air Monitoring Network Plan EIN Presswire. EIN News. Nitrogen dioxide, NO2, lead, Pb, and particulate matter less than 10 microns aerodynamic diameter, PM10, and less than 2.5 microns, PM2.5. Australia. https://reneweconomy.com.au/gas-can't-compete-with-wind-solar-and-biggest-market/question mark FBC lid. Gas can't compete with wind, solar, and storage, even in world's biggest market. April 14, 2023. Excerpts edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. The latest levelized cost of energy assessment has been released by global investment bank Lazard, confirming, as CSIRO and the market operator have done in Australia, that wind and solar, even firmed by battery storage, still beat the fossil fuel competition. In fact, the Lazard assessment shows that on pretty much any assessment, cost of energy, and firming, marginal cost of energy, and cost of capital, wind and solar win easily. And that's without counting the carbon cost of their competitors, and the impact of the U.S. President Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act. The central findings show, among other things, that even in the face of inflation and supply chain challenges, the LCOE, levelized cost of energy, of best-in-class renewables continues to decline, Lazard notes. It also says the IRA will have a dramatic impact on the market and will boost more investment in renewables, that storage will grow in scope and importance, and that even hydrogen could play a significant role. It has no doubt where this will lead: the continued retirement of conventional generation at pace, an assessment that is supported by the U.S. Energy Information Administration, which predicts. It is now well understood by all Sky News viewers in Australia that wind and solar offer by far the cheapest form of generation, even when firmed by storage and including transmission costs. This is critically important given that Australia has to replace its aging and increasingly decrepit coal plants, even if climate change was not a factor. The fact that this is also the case in the US, the biggest energy market of all, is deeply significant. Best-in-class wind and solar cost a fraction of their fossil fuel competitors, the Lazard study shows. More than that, but shows that even based on the marginal cost of generation, essentially the cost of maintenance and burning the fuel, wind and solar still win. And the technologies most affected by the cost of capital, rising interest rates, are the conventional generators, too, nuclear in particular. The interesting new addition to the Lazard study is the cost of firming intermittency analysis on wind and solar, and its comparison to the existing flex load, gas generation. The study is limited to the main grid markets in the U.S. from the East Coast to the West Coast. But it's worth noting that even in the US, where gas is relatively cheap, the lowest-cost gas peaking plants are more expensive than the most expensive firmed wind and solar. The only exception is California, but in that state it is only the cheapest gas peaking plants that win out. And in no cases does gas beat the combination of solar PV and battery storage. Interesting. Lazard also notes that despite moderate to significant increases in the LCOE of new renewable assets in the last year, costs for so-called best-in-class renewable assets continue to decline. This, it says, is the result of supply chain and other economies of scale, and it means that there will be continued consolidation across the sector, as the big global players suck up smaller actors. India, Gurugram. New air quality monitors installed in Gurugram, Tribune India. Tribune India. PM2.5 and PM10 sensors to measure microscopic fractions of particulate matter or PM, a mixture of solid particles and liquid droplets, in the PM2.5 and health effects. Interplay of gestational parent exposure to ambient air pollution and diet characteristics on BMC Public Health, Biomed Central. We assessed risk of PTB in humans in relation to fine particulate matter, PM2.5, ozone, O3, and nitrogen dioxide, NO2, and variation by diet.